Hello, Husky Nation. Welcome to Beyond the Bench, a weekly series where we sit down with each of our head coaches here at Bloomsburg University to get thoughts about their program, themselves, and what it means to be a Husky. This week's episode is sponsored by Briar Creek Mutual Insurance. We would like to thank them and the rest of our corporate sponsors for their continued support of Husky athletics. I'm Dave Leisering, Sports Information Director here at Bloomsburg. Today's guest on Beyond the Bench is the head coach of the Husky softball program and my birthday twin, Susan Kocher. Susan, thank you very much for taking a few minutes to join us here today.
No problem, Dave. Not only just birthday twins, but we are lovers of Dairy Queen, remember?
That's right. And I expect that later in the interview when we talk about favorite food. I'm expecting blizzards from Dairy Queen, right?
There you go. That works.
So let's get right in, Coach. First off, good news so far from the PSAC as we're still planning on moving forward with a spring season. It's been a whirlwind of emotions for you and your program. Talk about how you've stayed connected and kept your team motivated for what lies ahead.
You're right. It's been a whirlwind and kind of crazy. When I think back to March, we were on spring break when it all happened and had no idea it would continue into where we are now. But, our team departing abruptly, coming back from spring break, and that was the last we had seen them. But just really through texting and email, eventually we were allowed to do Zoom meetings. I know our team was doing group chats or whatever the exact term is for what they do. But really just, through those sources to try to stay connected.
You played for the Huskies, enjoyed a tremendous career in the circle, which culminated with induction into the BU Hall of Fame in 1999. What are some of the fondest memories you had while competing here at Bloomsburg?
Well, I think the first thing you would go to would probably be the postseason experiences. I mean, there's certainly outstanding and, fond memories, but I think it's really more about how we got to those places. When I think about our road trips, that's when a lot of the fun times come out. And back when I was in school, which I hate to say how long ago it was, but we never traveled on buses for the most part, maybe going to an NCAA tournament. But we were on 15 passenger vans, jam-packed in the vans with all of our gear and suitcases and that kind of thing. We went to South Carolina for spring break and would travel all night in the vans and just switch drivers, that sort of thing. So lots of good times there. But I think two things that probably come to mind are, one, wherever we went for games, if we had to stay overnight, Jan being the head coach, she always made sure we were staying somewhere that had good shopping. She loves to shop and somehow it seems to go along with softball. We all love to buy at least sneakers, if nothing else. But we always run a hotel that was around a lot of things for us to do. So, they're fond memories. And then, I think the other thing that comes to mind right away, and a lot of the alums talk about this, is, the whole time that I've been a part of Bloomsburg softball, it's just been a rule that you don't swear. I mean, there's no swearing on the field, on the van. It doesn't matter where we are. And Jan stuck to that. And, a lot of push-ups were, if you swore, you had to do push-ups. And a lot of push-ups were done in all kinds of places. We'd stop the vans and be at a roadside rest and you get out and do the push-ups because you swore. Or if we had been eating in a restaurant, she didn't do it in the restaurant, but when we got outside and before we got in the vans, you did your push-ups. So, which certainly created, interesting situations for our team members. So they're the things that jump out to me right away when I think about, my time here as a player.
I would have to do a lot of push-ups, I can tell you that.
Learn to quit swearing very quickly, trust me.
So you mentioned you've been associated with Bloomsburg softball now since your freshman year. You've been a part of nearly 1,400 wins, 33 NCAA postseason appearances during your time as a player, assistant coach, and now as the head coach. So go back, what led to your decision to stay here at Bloomsburg following your graduation, and what have been the keys to the program's lifetime of success?
Well, I think what made me stay was really, it was, I think my junior year here. I had the opportunity to work softball camps here and at some other places where Jan ran the camps. Had never been a part of anything like that. And suddenly, it was very exciting to teach softball skills and in particular pitching, because that's, was one of my specialties. But I just learned all of a sudden, I thought I wanted to be a teacher, but that ended quickly when I thought about being in a classroom all day and not being outside. And realized I thought I wanted to coach. And while I was a player, we didn't have a full-time assistant, had part-time assistants, which was fine. But my senior year, we learned that the position would be upgraded to a full-time assistant. So that thought was really exciting. And just the fact that Jan would have me, as her assistant, was the next step to that. To me, it seemed like everything just kind of worked out perfect and, it was meant to be. And I couldn't imagine, staying and coaching anywhere else. As far as the second part of the question, the success of the program, I don't know. It's to me, it's kind of simple. One, Jan, it starts with Jan. I mean, she pretty much built the program and, just had a tremendous philosophy, was a great recruiter, but the part of the recruiting is she was able to get outstanding student athletes or players here. I mean, time and again, we are getting players that could go Division I at a high level. And for whatever the reasons are, they're choosing to come here. We have just had outstanding players. Hands down, that's been, in my opinion, what's made a difference for us. And we continue to get outstanding, not just players, but student athletes, good kids, just hardworking, what I would call wholesome players that come here to our program.
You mentioned Jan. You had the opportunity to play for, coach with, and then ultimately replace her after her retirement in 2010. Describe the impact Jan Hutchinson has had on your career in collegiate athletics.
Well, the impact, it's really undescribable. I mean, I really will not do it justice or really be able to put it into words that work very well. But, I'd have to think, I come from a family very strong in athletics, super supportive family. My dad coached me all through my years, right up through high school. And I think when I came to Bloomsburg, I had a strong foundation of softball skills, had a strong knowledge, especially, for a high school player coming into the Bloomsburg program. To move on and come into Bloomsburg and get coached by Jan just took all of that and raised it to a level that I was unaware of. You have to remember back when I was in high school, I had never seen a college game. Fast pitch softball in my area was relatively new when I was younger. So yeah, it wasn't as easy to turn on the TV and see college softball. To come to Bloomsburg, there were 8 freshmen in my class, and I was joining a team that had 8 seniors. And that team had just won the national championship their sophomore year in 1982. So when I walked on the field and saw the level of play, I was in awe. I mean, I had just never seen anything like it. So yeah, I mean, the idea of being on the team was just being able to contribute and be able to play at that level was just unimaginable. As a player, I wanted to learn as much from her as possible, and get to be as strong of a player as I could be. And then you take that to the coach, being her assistant coach. It all just started over again. I wanted to learn as much as possible because I looked at her in the same way as a coach. Like, the things she was teaching were just beyond, what I had been exposed to. So, I think her influence is not just about me as a coach, it's me as an adult. And it's just, above and beyond and incredible, the influence she's had on me to allow me to grow into the person that I am today. And when I think back to my parents, they built a foundation. They created the beginning or the first half of me, so to speak, and that carried me to Bloomsburg. And not that they left me by any means, but that carried me to Bloomsburg. And then, Jan has just been a part of my life for so long. It's amazing when you add up the years, and just really helped me grow into the coach and the person that I am right now.
So, how would you describe your coaching philosophy?
Well, I think I would say intense, but definitely not an in-your-face type of coach. And obviously, my philosophy has been impacted because of Jan. I mean, I think the reason I wanted to stay here and coach was because I believed in her philosophy. And I'm not saying it's exact by any means, but, I believed in what she was doing with the program and her style and philosophy. And, we want our players to be extremely motivated. We want them to grow as players and be much better when they leave than they were when they came in from a skill level and just as young adults. But we want them to be motivated to achieve the team goals and motivated to achieve their individual goals. I don't want to have to scream at them for that to happen. Like, we want to all be highly motivated. And then on the other side of that, we can't take away the fun part. I mean, it needs to be fun. And we don't want to lose that. And I worry about that because the kids have been playing for so many years before they get here. But it needs to be fun. You need to want to go to practice, and working hard and getting better is exciting. And that needs to stay that way. And we don't want it to feel like a drudgery. And part of that's having fun, but working hard and all of us being on the same page and motivated. So a lot of self-motivation from them, but that goes with trying to get the right players here that believe in that style.
And you've brought in a lot of those right players, and you have 5 new faces on this year's roster. What are some of the selling points you use to bring those quality students here to Bloomsburg?
It's funny. That question comes up a lot from even other coaches or high school coaches, that kind of thing. And I don't have one piece of the puzzle, except I think it's the university sells itself. I mean, the strong academics and the tradition of success across the board in athletics, not just softball, I think draws them to the university. And then we just feel like if we can get them on campus, I mean, our campus is spectacular. We just feel like it sells itself, and they get a really kind of homey feeling here. I think the people at Bloomsburg are wonderful, and they just leave here thinking they want to come back. They can see themselves being here. So I think we just really feel good about getting them on campus. We just have to get them here.
Mm-hmm. And then what can we expect from the Huskies as we anticipate having a full spring season here in a couple of months?
Excitement, enthusiasm. I mean, the thought of actually having a game day. I mean, that's me, and I've been at it forever. I can't imagine being 18, 19 years old and just yearning for that chance to get back on the field. Again, think back to spring break, and it was just pulled away. I mean, we literally, the day that we got told that our season was canceled, we were supposed to play, I think at like noon or 1 o'clock, early afternoon. And we were getting ready to leave the hotel in Florida and head to the fields, and it just kind of got squashed in a heartbeat. So that's just hard to lose that feeling. And then I think back to this past fall, initially when we came back to campus, we weren't allowed to practice or do anything with the team. Everybody was like that. And then all of a sudden in October, we got the green light that, hey, we could have 4 hours of, softball related activity. And we met in the dugout, and I never saw such excitement to say we're allowed to practice. It wasn't game day. It wasn't going to Florida. It was, we're allowed to practice. Like, they were so excited, and, you get it. Practice isn't always, fun all the time, but the excitement that we saw in the players was so uplifting. So I can't even imagine coming back in February, and getting to practice, and then we get to go to that first game. I can't wait for that day, and, just to see the excitement. But team-wise, we have tremendous strength in our junior and senior class. We're loaded with upperclassmen. So, the fact that they missed last spring, I just think we wish we could have had last spring. We thought we were going to have a really strong season, and kind of regretting all that. I just am really excited to see how they come out, in the spring season. But we have a lot of strength returning. Not to forget, we only have one sophomore, not to forget her by any means. And then the 5 freshmen, I'd love to talk about them, but we didn't really get to do our normal fall practice and games. So I don't really know how much they bring to the team. We recruited them because we think they're great, obviously. But until we see them with our players and get to see, really what their skills are, at the college level, that's the other exciting part. We haven't really gotten to see that from them very much, and can't wait to see that come about in the spring.
So, Susan, let's have a little fun now. We'll ask you the tough questions now. So, your favorite sports teams growing up?
Well, it's actually growing up and still exists. It's actually for men's basketball, and it's the North Carolina Tar Heels. Just have followed them since 8th grade. We had a local player that went there and played, and that started it when I was in 8th grade, and just, have loved watching them ever since. Beyond that, I watch for players at the pro level. I don't really have teams anymore because I think the players don't stay. So, I love watching pro football and kind of go with the players that I like, the quarterbacks, and watch those teams. But no, North Carolina basketball is probably my favorite thing to watch. So.
Okay. And who are some of those players that you follow?
Well, if you go back to old school, it's Jeff Lebo is the name that he played for Carlisle High School, and went to North Carolina. And then he's now a college coach and with his dad as well and all that. So that's part of there. But in football, it's, you have to like Russell Wilson with the Seahawks. And there we go.
There we go.
And for the Packers, Aaron Rodgers, like him. And then you got to go to Drew Brees. And actually, I'm trying to think of his name now. I think it's the Cardinals. I don't know if he's a rookie per se, but
Kyler Murray.
There we go. Yeah. So I'm not a Cardinals fan, never have been, but have been watching that team a lot. So, and then actually a new fan of Alex Smith, quarterback. I know his story well, and from watching it on ESPN. And he's been playing because their quarterback got hurt. So love watching him in action.
Yeah, he's a great story, and it's nice to see him back on the field. But I love the Russell Wilson answer. I'm a huge Seahawks fan, so that was that made my day. That's for sure. So
well, you have to look at the colors too. I love their uniforms. They have great colors.
You always know when they're on TV. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
So, any favorite movies, Coach?
It's funny. I mean, I like watching movies, but I usually can't remember what I've seen. I don't remember the titles, and it'll be halfway through a movie, and I'll be like, "Oh, I think I saw this movie." So I'm not great at that. But the only one that really jumps out is Christmas Vacation.
Oh man, you are really making my day. That's
really?
for sure. Oh man, what a great movie.
There you go. We actually watch it on Thanksgiving night with our family. We watch it every year. And my younger brother knows every line and sounds like every character and whatever. It's just a really, really fun time. So that I'd have to say that's my all-time favorite.
That's our Christmas Eve movie at home.
Cool.
So yep, that's we put that in and watch that. So another fantastic answer. You're doing great at this. So now the ultimate question: favorite food.
Well, I love to eat, so it's really hard to go down, pick one. But really, I took it back to my mom's macaroni and cheese or my mom's ham and scalloped potatoes. So, they're my favorites, I guess, if I really, really, really had to pick.
Okay.
I don't know. How's that match with yours?
That works very well. And obviously, Blizzard's a Dairy Queen for dessert.
Well, if you're talking dessert, yes, but it's the Hawaiian Blizzard, my favorite.
There you go.
It's not on the menu anymore. So
it's the secret Susan Kocher Blizzard.
Yeah, there you
go. Any favorite music or bands, musicians that you listen to?
Yeah, I don't have any. I mean, there's certain ones that stand out. Really, I just like music that has a really good beat and rhythm. And, when we play music on game day, just something that makes you want to get out and play, move around or feel loose. So probably more what's pop, like more pop, I guess you would say. But I actually like a variety. I just like to mix it up.
Okay. If you could meet anyone, past or present, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Well, I actually don't really have a strong person, and I almost feel like something's wrong with me. Like I feel like everyone has that one, whether it's a music artist or an actor or actress or whatever. But in all honesty, it's two authors that they're books that I've read, multiple books of theirs to help with coaching and that kind of thing. And one is David Cook. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with him, but he wrote The 7 Days in Utopia. Great book. I'm not doing a plug for him. I don't know him, but a really good book. And then John Gordon would be the other one. I think he's certainly a more popular name these days with, I know Shannon, our lacrosse coach, and I think even Tag with basketball. They know about his books, The Positive Dog, The Energy Bus. And actually I've read about 6 or 8 of them, and he keeps coming out with more. But great books, easy reads, and we use them with our team, different parts of different books, all the time to help with staying positive and focused. And it's not about sports. Actually, most of his books aren't about sports. It's just about staying that way in your life, helping us cope with stresses in our lives. So it'd be interesting to talk with them in person rather than just read their books. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And we need to stay positive in our lives right now. That's for sure. After the last little bit. So those are definitely some good books and some good people. So last question, Coach, best thing about Bloomsburg University?
Geez, I really going to go back to the people, I think, because I've been here for so long and, we talked about the campus and that sort of thing, but it just comes down to, for the most part, everyone on lower campus and upper campus, we're all here for the same reason, really just to have a good positive feel on campus. And, I know I can pick up the phone and call any other department and they're going to help us achieve, whatever we're trying to accomplish, and just really good people here. And just has always felt like a really good fit for me. And so I'm not sure what the ticket is for real, but it's just a place that feels like home. And I honestly think, we're the best university around. Like, it just feels like this is the best place. Obviously I'm biased, but it's just the best place to be. And, can't even imagine considering being anywhere else for any part of my career.
It's a great answer. And we will wrap it up on a high note, that's for sure. So Coach, we really appreciate you taking some time out, and we look forward to getting back on the field here in a couple months.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate all your efforts. And yeah, we can't wait for the spring. So.
Head coach Susan Kocher of the Bloomsburg University softball program. We'd like to thank Husky Nation for tuning in to Beyond the Bench. Join us again next week as we will visit with another Huskies head coach. We'd also like to thank once again Briar Creek Mutual Insurance for sponsoring today's episode. For information on everything Huskies, visit our new look website, buhuskies.com. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Dave Leisering. We'll see you next week on Beyond the Bench. Have a great day and go Huskies.